Hello everybody, welcome to Ageless Rock, a channel for megalithic fans with megalithic lens. In this video, we are going to check out an enigmatic structure which no one seems to know what it is. It is located at necropolis of Naqsh-e-Rustam in front of the four famous tombs of the kings of Persia. The civilization of Persia is definitely a fascinating part of our world history. Something big happened here 2500 years ago. It is not just the rise of an empire that makes me wonder what is going on, but the fact that the rise of a superpower, almost in the blink of an eye in the world history timeline, has a megalithic culture behind the scene is rather intriguing. It is like an unseen force which is the actual kingmaker. There are only two structures like this in the world and both are in Iran. They are about 1 hour drive apart and they both are as mysterious today as they were when Europeans first came to know about them. Because of Cube of Zoroaster, we are able to know for sure what Tomb of Cambyses I looked like. It is strange that even though both are the same, archaeologists assume one as a temple while the other is a tomb. It is incomprehensible that two extremely hard-to-build structures are actually unknown in human history. Today, this cube is still open for debate as to what it is. So put on your thinking cap and megalithic lens and think for yourself. Since both are facing north but tilted slightly towards the west, that means they might have some significance related to astronomical use, such as portals to another dimension on a certain day of the year. The locals have no name for this monument. Persians call it Kaaba-e-Zarthost, which is the Persian word for cube of Zoroaster. This cube is also compared to the Kaaba in Mecca, where Muslims gather once in their lifetime to perform the Hajj pilgrimage. This begs the question, did Zoroastrians evolve into Islam where certain rituals and beliefs were taken more seriously and morph into a new mainstream religion? This mysterious cube of Zoroaster is facing directly the first of the four tombs on the left of the bedrock cliff at Naqsh-e-Rustam. It is assumed to be the tomb constructed for King Darius II, which is the fourth king to be buried here. From a distance, far enough to have the trench unnoticeable, this monument will look like a three-story building because of its three-level false windows. The fact that there is no name prior to calling it Kaaba-e-Zarthost shows that the locals had no clue what it was prior to the arrival of the Europeans. It was known to be buried and the locals did not seem to bother excavating it. The excitement of this discovery and the need to know what this is were largely from the European minds. This monument is so awe-inspiring that today we can only wonder how it was done. The top piece cornice is not only an amazing masonry, but the fact that it is a one-piece stone measuring 22 feet 8 inches long and was lifted to the top still baffles everyone today. It seems that cutting limestone from bedrock was not only easy, but transporting and lifting it were also not a big issue. As you can see, the opening is the chamber itself and it is 5 feet 3 inches thick. There is no reason I can think of to have such precision cut, heavy stones lifted and stacked like as if it was meant to put a radioactive material inside. The entrance is said to have grooves for pivots for both sides on the upper and lower part. That suggests a possibility it once held two doors that met in the middle when closed. Another evidence that this is the product of the unknown ancient builders are the random rectangular holes all over the building. These are nicely cut niches that actually reduce the beauty of the wall, which would have been otherwise flawless. This entrance, as described by Robert Porter, is a portal that measures 6 feet tall by 5 feet wide. With all the solid and mighty structures stacked to withstand earthquake, the chamber inside is only 12 feet square and the height is between 15 and 16 feet. What a strange idea for anything useful in ancient times. The interior of the chamber is covered in soot. It reaffirms the theory that Zoroastrians were responsible for the carbon accumulated through their eternal flame that must not be extinguished. However, even if they actually use it as a temple, it doesn't prove that they built this structure because the knowledge of such construction was never applied to building a house they can actually use. The bottom half of the structure is nothing but a pile of stones in irregular polygonal shape. Since they are hidden on the inside, they don't have to be polygonally cut, but yet they are done in such a way as if it is easy and doesn't have any impact on the level of difficulty. This monument, when first viewed by Europeans, were covered by earth, stones and garbage. It goes to show that it was abandoned for unknown reason, and the locals didn't even find this an object of interest. The Europeans were far more curious than the locals, and excavation and restorations were done based on Western standards and therefore followed by their narratives. The three sides of the structure has 6 false windows. This mysterious design cannot be explained by any known research why they are like that. It is made up of dark grey limestone and have 2-level recess. The middle windows are square while the bottom 4 windows are vertically rectangle. The top windows are much smaller. Despite having 6 windows on each side except the front, there is no light coming in other than the front. This one-piece window with lots of 90-degree angles is very hard to do. It looks like something you do with a machine that can cut at 90 degrees all the way to the corner with millimeter precision, rather than skillful work of men with ancient chisels. Prior to constructing this monument of well-dressed limestones, ancient Persians must first dig a hole so that it can be built below ground level. This 12-meter tall structure with a square base of 7.3 meters has 2 other less noticeable small false windows in front of it, which I feel, if you can crack the code why it is there, you might be able to know some truth about the true intention of this entire structure. The roof is made up of 4 huge slabs and looks like they were stitched together with the typical but yet mysterious dovetail clamps. The mysterious clamps are not Persian architecture. They are technology that belong to megalithic culture worldwide. The aerial view of the structure is rather puzzling. An upright structure in a rectangular enclosure with an entrance and exit seems like a yoni linga concept in design. I wonder if it is just a coincidence or there is a secret knowledge of this design which relates to energy we are not familiar with. I think it is time to study the structure with the idea that it is related to energy rather than tomb or temple. Another interesting feature typically not mentioned is that the roof is actually slightly pyramidal in shape. This is a feature that nobody can see unless you are able to stand higher than the building. That means it is an important feature that has a purpose rather than for fancy design. We have to wander beyond tombs and temples to understand what is this all about. Based on artists' impression, this flight of 30 stairs leading to the chamber was a splendid achievement of ancient Persians. However, the building on a 3-step platform which is 1.5 meters high inside a hole is something Persians cannot explain how or why their ancestors built this. Another feature which I mentioned at Tomb of Cambyses the first video is the wall at Sewu Temple in Java Island of Indonesia. It has the uncanny similarity to this wall at Naksh-i-Rustam. The polygonal wall with rectangular niches is just too much of a coincidence. The megalithic wall at Sewu Temple is evidence that praising locals who inhabited this area thousands of years ago cannot explain the existence of such splendid monuments where it is challenging even with today's technology and impossible with ancient tools. Megalithic sites such as Sewu Temple has astronomical significance, which you can check out in my video on this temple in Indonesia playlist. So I would not be surprised this cube, which was once believed to be a temple, might have astronomical significance. In the minds of mainstream, any ancient stone box is a sarcophagus. Just like this stone sarcophagus found in the middle of nowhere at Mount Zane nearby. These two rectangular stone holes in the bedrock is also assumed to be for some ancient dead people. These two rectangular holes are too shallow to bury a dead body, so it is probably unfinished sarcophagus or could be some religious purpose item they have yet to determine. It is no surprise ancient Persians used these holes as tombs by keeping remains of their ancestors, but the simple carvings around the hole seems to suggest it was a different civilization who made them. In a simple overview of this site and its vicinity, Naksh-i-Rustam enjoys the reputation of having tombs of the kings, several sarcophagi, and niche tombs on bedrock. But the fact that no dead body has been found is what makes me wonder what happened here. This cube of Zoroaster is not a cube but rather a rectangular upright tower which has no link to Zoroastrianism yet. Kings' tombs with no kings, sarcophagi in open space collecting rainwater, and niches with random collection of human remains are actually all we have. What a great product of imagination coming out of human species. No wonder aliens left us when they concluded there is no sign of intelligence. If you want to bring the aliens back, you must solve this puzzle. What is this monolithic stone item? The correct answer will give you a free ride in a UFO to the galaxy of your choice for vacation. Well, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this short presentation on the mysterious cube of Zoroaster. See you in the next video and have a wonderful day. This is Berniong signing out. Khadak Hafez.